Hello and good morning. Welcome to the weekly vlog. So it is currently the morning of September 9th. This week is going to be an interesting one. I'm celebrating 10 years married this week, so the vlog will be a little bit different than normal, I think, just because we'll be doing some stuff related to that. So I've got last week's vlog up for members now. And then I've been getting some reading done. I did read one volume yesterday. It was a work day, and it was really kind of a weirdly exhausting work day for me for some reason. And so I didn't get as much read as I thought I would. But I did end up reading She Loves to Cook and She Loves to Eat, Volume 4. I love this series so much. And there's so much to unpack and love about this series. And I love our little couple. Like, feelings have been confessed. I love it so much. And there's a lot going on in this series and in this particular volume. I love the other, like, they each have a friend outside of their friendship together that adds a lot to the story as well. And I really love where we're headed with this one. It's really interesting, and of course, you get all the little foodie elements throughout it, but I just really love this. And again, this is a series that does a really great job of giving you, like, trigger warnings or, like, a warning if there's going to be sensitive content within the chapter before you dive in, so you can go in better prepared and expected. And I just really love it. It was so, so good. And again, this is a series that I will never shut up about. If you like a good sapphic romance or a good foodie manga, this is definitely going to scratch that itch for you, and I love it. This morning, I have read one volume already, and I'm about to dive into a second, but I figured I should probably formally open this vlog. So the one that I read this morning was volume 2 of A Kingdom of Quartz. Now, this one is going to be great for fans of things like Witch Hat Atelier, where it's going to be deeply political, but there's going to be a child at the core of what's going on politically. The cliffhanger at the end of this sucks. It sucks a lot. I'm super upset at it, I can't lie. But this is a fantastic series. I really enjoy it at this point. It is definitely up there with not going to be leaving my collection anytime soon. The art style is also very similar to Witch Hat Atelier, where it has that more almost Studio Ghibli style art. Essentially, we're following a young girl who wants nothing more than to be an archangel in this world, but her wings are black. And so there isn't a single person who believes she can be an archangel because she's not pure. The Prince of Quartz has faith in her, and she is very special to him. And we see that coming to fruition a little bit more, but in this volume, she does officially enter the academy to become, like, where the archangels go to become archangels. So I'm really intrigued, and I really love it. It's really fantastic, and I'm really interested to see where it's going to go next, because it could go a few different ways, and I'm really just happy to see where it's going to go. So I'm going to read at least one more volume today, and so I think I'm going to do Cat on the Hero's Lap number 2, because I need some cute cat shenanigans, and this one was just really, really cute. It looks like there's 3 kitties on the back, so I think we'll meet more kitty friends in this volume. So, alright, so I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to feed myself and do basic human care, because I've not been good at that this morning, other than, you know, showering, getting ready for the day, you know, that kind of stuff. Haven't bothered with makeup yet. That'll happen right before I go to work. My allergies are starting to flare up a little bit, so my eyes have been fairly watery, so I'm doing less on the makeup front because of that. But anyway, with that said, I will chat with you guys once I've read some more. Hello friends, good morning. So, it's been a couple of days since I showed you my face in this vlog. So I am going on a little errand. I'm running over to my parents. They went on a little trip, and so I now need to go and take care of the Jethro kitty. I'll have some B-roll of him, I'm sure. And he was my kitty in my first marriage. And it's really funny that I'm going over to take care of him today because Mr. Geeksout and I are celebrating 10 years together. And they're some of the best 10 years of my life. Like, they probably are, honestly. He is the perfect partner for me, and I'm so happy that he is my person. He's already going all out to make us a special dinner tonight, and so I'm going to be taking care of a couple things during the day today, and then I'm going to bake up a pie that we've got. I mean, I'm not baking a pie from scratch. I'm not quite that good. But yes, we're going to have a pie. And he's making just a really nice meal. I'm sure I'll put a little clip of it in here. But yeah, so I feel like I want new tablecloths, so I'll probably stop for those. I'll bring you along with me for that. And yeah, so it's a good day so far. But update on my reading. So reading has been much slower this week. So since I talked to you last, I did finish Cat on a Hero's Lap Volume 2. That one was really sweet. It is the perfect blend of adventure story and cat shenanigans for me. It's done in just the best, campiest way, and I need to pick up more volumes of this one for sure. But I wanted to make sure I still liked it come Volume 2 before I did, because I've been sitting on Volume 2 for a minute, so that is definitely one that will be added to pick up more on my list. And then I've been reading The Duke of Death and His Maid. I've read the next 3 volumes in that one, and I just adore it. It's such a funny little story about this, guy who can't touch things because they'll die. Even like through his gloves, he has to be very, very careful. And then there's this girl named Alice who adores and loves him and is all up in his space all the time. They're really cute together. I really like it, and they are just precious and sweet. And then book-wise, my current audio is still Dawn with the Wolf Knight, I believe is what it's called. And it's the next Elise Kova in her Married to Magic series. This one's really interesting because she ends up with the magic of a very powerful spirit by accident, and she ends up having to... This spirit is essentially attached to the wolf, like the lichen, the wolf, the werewolf people, because she is how they have their ability to change at will rather than at the whims of the moon. And so someone was basically trying to kidnap the spirit and bring her back because she's housed in a human body right now. But as she released her magic, it went into this witch, our main character. And so now the king of the lichen is trying to woo her to, make his kids have it all. But he has other nefarious plans, obviously. But his knight, I think, knows that she is his mate. And now the Lichen King is trying to marry her, and it's all sorts of political and awesome. The King of the Lichen has this charm built into him that is naturally like what he does, and so he is trying to, keep our main character playing nice and doing what he wants through his charm. She's been trying to resist his physical advances, like the kissing, the touching, all that kind of stuff. And the way she's been able to resist is to think of the knight. And so it's really interesting now, because now they are the knight and the female main character are going to act on their feelings as a form of rebellion against the Wolf King. So anyways, I am very, very excited to see where this is going to go. I really enjoy the politics of these Married to Magic series. They tend to be really good. I do think the first one is the weakest of all of them, if I'm honest. Even though it is also still good, I really enjoyed it, but I've enjoyed them more as the series has gone on because the politics have run deeper. I feel like that first one was just so much of establishing the world of Midscape that you didn't get to delve into the politics of Midscape. And the politics of Midscape are very, very interesting. So I'm really enjoying it. It's a good time. And then ebook wise, I finished, I think it's called Married to the Alien Cowboy. Anyways, it's basically these aliens, like their world is really weird. And as children, they were sent to this penal colony for federal crimes, even if it's self-defense, and have basically been banished from their world, never allowed to return, even though they've been told until recently that they were working on potentially rehabilitating them into their civilization. Okay, so these men, they were, as children, they committed crimes and sent to this penal colony. Originally, they were told they were going to be rehabilitated onto their world, but they found out recently that's not going to happen. So they are now being sent brides, human brides, instead. And this bride program is how our heroine is escaping some really bad people. And so she kind of rushes things and gets there early. No one's ready. And, you know, these aliens are all, you know, different, but they all have these really powerful and muscular tails that help them do a lot of their farm work, actually, because, you know, they can lift and carry a lot with them. And it's really, it was fun. It was bonkers and banana pants. It's definitely not the best thing I've ever read, but they live in this really, like, dusty planet, and they, you know, work and farm the land, and they're able to earn an income, but it's all done through a warden. And the warden, you know, you're unsure of at first, but by the end of this book, you really like him, and you're really excited to see what's going to happen to the other aliens who have agreed to have wives. So it's going to be interesting. I do plan on continuing the series. I am going to take a break because Broken by Daylight, which is book 4 in the Beast of the Briar series, came out a couple days ago. So that's going to be my new ebook. Izzy and I talked about it. We're both going to get it started. I started it a little bit last night, and you're finally getting the, like, full dated history of the world that we've been in this whole time. And I'm like, yes, freaking finally. I need this. So yeah, it's been good so far. I'm really happy. I've only read, like, the history part. I haven't gotten to any of the actual plot of this one yet. But yeah, so that is what my reading update is. And I am very, very excited to keep going. And yeah, so I am now almost to my parental unit's home. So I'm going to sit there. I'm going to read. I did bring the next Skip Beat 3-in-1 with me. And then I've got Broken by Daylight on my phone. I didn't bring my Kindle with me. I'm going to feed the Jethro and spend some time with him. And I'll kind of do that the next couple of mornings. So you'll get bonus kitty B-roll, which will be fun. So, yeah. Anyways, once I've read a little bit more, I will update you. And we will go from there. Hello, good morning. So today is the 13th of September, and I am now at 48 of 30 volumes read. My reading has been at a much more reasonable pace this week. Last week was insane and not normal, but this is more how 30 and 30 usually goes for me. So I have a few volumes that I haven't spoken to you about yet that I'm going to. So first things first, I took the last 2 days to read this 3-in-1. I didn't count it till today, but it's 22, 23, and 24. As I was reading it when I was hanging with Jethro yesterday, I just wasn't quite in the mood for it, so I went ahead and just put it down and just worked on my book for a little bit. Worked on reading my book for a little bit. I didn't say that right, so I wanted to clarify. But this was a fantastic set of volumes. I'm very excited to pick up the next. I actually have it in my stack of potentials for later because I'm going to host some reading sprints. So I've got this read. Again, making steady progress in Skip Beat this 30 and 30. Really enjoying my time with it. And yeah, like I get why people like this series a lot better now than I used to. Because it's more than just a romance. There's so much more going on here. Yes, there is romance-related things and triangle-style shenanigans all the time. She only has eyes for the one guy, really, but all the guys have eyes for her. So it's just really funny to watch her slowly eliminate all these other guys because she has her person, and it's great. I love to see it. But yes, solidly really enjoyed this. This dealt more with like the catty side of acting and how female actresses can feel like they're competing with one another. So I really enjoyed that. And then I went ahead and finished a series I'd been sitting on for far too long. So I finally finished Classmates. So I've read Volume 5, which is Classmates OB, Occupation to Beloved, and then the final volume, Blanc or White in French. And I loved this. I thought it ended perfectly. I felt like we dealt with serious enough conflicts for this to feel based on real people, honestly. And the way things weren't perfectly tied in a bow and resolved by the end made a lot of sense to me. I really loved how this worked out. Yes, these are two boys who met in high school and fell in love and decided to become partners as their relationship developed over a course of like 4 years, 5 years, something like that. A long time. And I am really happy that I read this. I'm happy to have it in my collection. I definitely understand why this one is so beloved in the boys love community, and I think it's fantastic. I do think it's definitely worth reading. If you don't tend to invest in boys love stories, then you may not be as invested in this one. But I would definitely recommend checking it out from library or trying it out because I feel like their love story was very realistic. Like there's a point where they're living apart but still trying to make their relationship work and all those kinds of things. Like all of the big major things that you could come up against in a relationship, they kind of deal with. And so I think any relationship can kind of relate to that. And I think it's beautifully done. The art is very uniquely, this mangaka, I forget their name, Atsumiko Nakamura. It's very uniquely theirs, and I love it for that. And my phone is blowing up, and I'm sorry. And yes, so really loved that. So plans for the rest of my reading today. So I've got a couple of things. Let me scoot the red ones out of the way real fast. So as I said, I have the next Skip Beat as a potential. But I do have 2 series that I could finish today. After finishing Classmates, I'm kind of like, I've got a couple that I've only got a volume or 2 to read, so I should finish those. So I have Can't Stop Cursing You, which is volume 4 is the final volume, and I really need to get this one read so I can decide whether it's staying in my collection or not. It's horror, and it's right on that cusp of maybe too much for me, so I want to finish it and see my feelings at the end. So there's that. And then I also have Sunbeams in the Sky, which was only a 3-volume series. I loved the first volume. I should read these last 2 and then decide if I'm keeping it, since I still haven't fully done and filmed my unhaul because my library is still in flux. And then I've got a bunch of series where I have like volumes to just kind of catch up on with it. So I've got Magus of the Library 6, Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today 7, Cherry Magic 11, What's Wrong with Secretary Kim 3 and 4, and then I also have Yakuza Fiancé 7 and 8. So I've got those. Then I've got My Mate is a Feline Gentleman UK arc under. There's one more volume after this one. I have Titan's Bride 4. I've got Usatoki Rhetoric 4. I've got Vampire Dormitory 11. And then I have some one-shots that maybe I'll hit up. So I've got Wanted. This is like a pirate one-shot, so why not? And then I've got a couple of BL ones. So I've got I Should Not Love You, and I've got Love, a Kitten, and a Salty Dog. I've heard mixed things about both of these, so I'd like to read them and decide if I'm keeping them or not relatively quickly, so I may prioritize those. Wanted is just a classic, and I'd love to know if I love it. So the catch-up volumes here might wait today, and then I can focus on the finishing of things and deciding whether they're staying in my collection or not. That's probably going to be my priority, and then the Skip Beat 3 in 1. Because my goal was always to hit one of those on a day off, but where I kind of took 2 days to read the one. Since I've got the time, I'd like to read the other. And I'm kind of in a reading mood today. Yesterday, I really wasn't. Yesterday was my 10-year wedding anniversary, so I was focused and thinking about other things that day. So there's that update. If you're interested in the challenges for like leveling up and stuff, I have actually hit all 30 unintentionally. I did not like set out to do that intentionally with what I was reading. The only one I absolutely failed at was Don't Buy Any New Manga for 30 Days. I didn't win that one, obviously. But I've completed 32 of the 40 prompts. I'm still going to shoot to read at least one volume every day. I think I finally hit 30 volumes for my physical TBR. Let me double check that. I have. I've read more than that, which means I can read One Piece again. Yay! That'll be nice. I've actually hit 33. So, you know, maybe as a treat after my stack today, I'll read some One Piece. But I'm technically at 33 physicals from my TBR that are read. So that feels really good. I won't, like, to read 30 off my physical is always a goal for me. And I told myself I wouldn't read any more One Piece until I'd done that. So now I can read One Piece again if I choose, because I'm just reading that on the Shonen Jump app right now. As much as I love One Piece, that is a huge amount to collect, and I'm not sure I want to do it. So anyways, there's my update. That's where I'm at. And as sprints are happening and as I read things this afternoon, we'll check in and see how things are going. Okay, so let's update before my battery dies. So I read 7 volumes while we did sprints this evening. So I read My Mate is a Feline Gentleman UK arc under, so the last part of that arc. There will be one more volume of this series. It was really sweet and really cute. It resolved a lot of the conflict from the previous volume. Well, it resolved all of it, technically. And I'm really excited to see what we get from the next one. Then I read Vampire Dormitory 11. This started the next arc of the story. And it's bonkers and banana pants, and I'm here for it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I really need to say about this one. Then we've got The Titan's Bride Volume 4. I really enjoyed this next installment. The cliffhanger on this sucks, but thankfully Volume 5 comes out in October, so I don't have to wait too long. And then I read a couple of one-shots as well. So I read I Should Not Love You. This one was just fine. It was middle of the road for me. It didn't do anything super exciting. I didn't like the memory issue that one of the heroes had, or like the bad eyesight thing. Like it didn't work for me. So this one's going to leave the collection. And then I've got Love, a Kitten and a Salty Dog. And again, this one was just fine. It didn't necessarily do anything wrong. It's just not one I think I'd revisit. So it will also be leaving my collection. Finally, on these sprints, I did finish off Sunbeams in the Sky, volumes 2 and 3, and I will be keeping this one. This is a really cute shoujo series. It's got the twin swap element to it, but there's a lot more to it. There is a big bullying factor, so I will, and there's basically an attack on one of our female heroines, so I'm going to put that out there as a trigger real quick. But it is a very solid series. It's really quite sweet outside of that one element, so I highly recommend it. It's a nice, short and sweet series. I will be revisiting the whole thing again, and this is one that I just really enjoyed. So I read a ton today. I'm not mad about it. I also got some editing done and some things like that. So not mad about anything that happened with that. It was just kind of mostly a reading day for me, and that's not a bad thing. I need that sometimes. I did not read any more Skip Beat tonight. Maybe that will be my read tomorrow morning before work instead. Still kind of mulling over that, or I might just do it on my next day off. You guys will get one more day on this vlog before it's done. So with that said, thank you so much for watching this little clip. And if you want to see my live and in-person thoughts, the stream, I think I forgot to link the one last week. I'll try to remember this week to leave that linked for you so you can check that out. I had Izzy, Heather, and Steph all on with me, which was a lot of fun. So with that said, I'm going to bed. My battery's dying. Good night.